Hello students, Mr. Basias here. Welcome to Unit 2, Week 4, Day 17. Make sure you have your Meaningmapper, article a day, and your book of knowledge. Also have some paper and pencil to write with. Today we will learn about how paper was invented and how young inventors still contribute to changing the world. Let's get started. Now let's talk about our focus word. We should be familiar with this organizer. In the middle we have our focus word invent. On the top left, we're going to write a definition. On the top right, some facts or characteristics about our word. Then on the bottom left, some examples, and bottom right, some non-examples. So I want you to fill out the organizer and then share with a partner. Now I'm going to show you how I would do it. So invent, in my own words, invent is when you make something up. Some characteristics of things that you invent is that they have to be new or they have to be improvements on an old idea. Some examples of inventions, well, we've talked about the telephone, and today we're going to talk about paper, but we could also write the computer, and many other things. Some non-examples, some things that are non-inventions, well, I would say people are not inventions and animals are not inventions. But almost anything else we have around us, or a lot of different things that we have around us, are inventions. Let's dive into our article a day. Today our article a day is titled Inventing Paper. I want you guys to take a look at the picture on the left. This is paper dating back to the Han Dynasty. Does the paper from the Han Dynasty look like the paper we use today? Share 2 details from the picture to support your idea. What do you think? So the paper from the Han Dynasty looks similar and different to paper today. It looks white with black ink, which is sort of how we use paper today, but it does look very old. This paper must be very old. Let's get started with our article a day. The Han Dynasty in China, founded by Liu Bang, lasted from 206 BCE to 220 CE, roughly the same period as the mighty Roman Empire. A dynasty is a series of leaders in the same family, like the British royal family. But in many ways, the Han culture was far more advanced than that of Rome. The Chinese themselves look upon this dynasty as a kind of golden time. They still call themselves the sons of the Han. One of the great achievements of the Han dynasty was the invention of paper. An achievement is a thing done successfully, typically by effort, courage, or skill. To reach this stage is a great achievement. So when you invent something, that's a great achievement. The Chinese made paper by mashing together a variety of ingredients. An ingredient is one of the things that goes into a mixture, such as the ingredients in pizza are tomato, cheese, dough, including tree bark. Here's some tree bark, hemp, which is a type of plant, rags, which is like used cloth, and fish nets that are used for fishing. Can you imagine not having any paper? What would you write on? Before paper was invented, the Chinese used the bones of animals, strips of bamboo, or even precious silk. The invention of paper was a huge advance. An advance is a step forward. It is an important step in making process or in improving something. In Spanish, avance, progreso, adelanto, mejora. It would be another 1,000 years before paper would appear in Europe. Now I want you guys to pull out your book of knowledge, and I want you to go back in the article and find 2 or 3 things that you learned from it. So I'm going to go back into the article and write 2 or 3 things that I learned from this. So the first thing I want to write is that paper was invented during the Han Dynasty in China. So I'm going to write that down. I learned that paper was invented during the Han Dynasty in China. Another thing that I found really interesting from the article was what paper was made of before. So Chinese used the bones of animals, strips of bamboo, and even precious silk to make paper or to write on. So I'm going to say Chinese used the bones of animals and strips of bamboo to write on before they had paper. So learn. Silk to write down before they had paper. So I also learned the Chinese used the bones of animals and bits of silk to write down before they had paper. This makes me think of how lucky we are that we have easy access to paper. We don't have to use bones. Usually we don't even have to use paper. Most of the time we can even use our computers to write down stuff. So I think we're very lucky. The last thing I want us to do is to look at our meaning mapper. Again, we have our focus word in the middle, invent. When you invent something, you get an idea, and from this new idea, you make something that has never been made by anyone before. We already wrote down the words imagination and genius in our meaning mapper because they are related to the word invent. What other words could you write down that are related to the word invent? Write them down. I wrote achievement. Remember, an achievement is a thing done successfully, typically by effort, courage, or skill. To reach this stage is a great achievement. So when you invent something, because it takes you so much effort and so much skill to make something new, that is a great achievement. So that's why I added achievement to my meaning mapper. The last thing we need to do is add achievement to our word wall. And that's it for me. Have a wonderful day, students, and see you next time.